stuff like there, and I was like, "Yo, we back. We got a high school homie on another high school homie on the show.
What's
Introduce
going
yourself."
on? My name is Santi.
Santi.
I know Easy from high school, from BLA.
BLA.
It's been a little while, but we live out here in LA together, so
Yo,
we've been hanging out and stuff. So.
life's a trip.
Life is a
Hanging
trip.
in Boston Line Academy, and then now we're living in LA.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So,
sir.
This is the first time I've had an interview with someone who does ballet. I think this is the first interview I had with a dancer, which is trippy because I know
Yeah.
a few, but yeah.
'Cause most of your stuff is with like in the music scene.
Yeah,
and
the music.
everything.
Nah.
But yeah, so this one's gonna be. This will be cool.
First dancer on the show. So when did you first start?
Dancing in general.
Yeah, dancing. Yeah.
I started when I was 8.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'll tell you the story because it's kind of interesting. It's not like I started from my parents or like anybody like putting me in ballet, but I was going to the Beethoven. I don't know if you heard of the Beethoven, West Roxbury.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So one day in my third grade classroom, Boston Ballet came. Some people from Boston Ballet, and they had like they showed us like a bunch of different pictures from the Nutcracker and like just dancers, like images, and then they had, they talked to us about ballet, about different styles of dance, and they actually ended up playing some music and like having us kind of like react to the music, move around, and it was just like in a way it was their kind of like, I don't want to say it's like, it is kind of like an audition, but it was like they were trying to see who was kind of receptive.
Yeah.
And so then they invited me and like 4 others or something, 4 or 5 others. Actually, funny enough, you know Vina, right?
Oh, really?
Vina was in that group with me, and like we went so we got chosen to go like once or twice a week to Boston Ballet. They would literally pick us up on the school bus, take us there, and like we'd take like 3 or 4 hours of dance classes. And yeah, it was just a program to like get people to like exposed to it.
Yeah.
And from there, the way that I actually continued was, so it's like that was like the first phase of the program. It's called City Dance. So that first phase led into another one that was like a kind of testing like the parents' commitment to see if they would like take their kids to dance classes and everything.
That's cool. Yeah.
So I think my parents, like from the beginning, were like really, I just remember them being very like interested in the whole idea.
Yeah.
So they were taking me and everything, and after that they invited me to join the school on scholarship. So yeah, from there it was just it's just kind of history.
Yeah, and when they invited you to join school, that's when you were like 15, 16?
No, I was still like 8 or 9. Like
got you.
So I started like 4th grade, like actually going after school.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool. And you remember this when you were like 8? Like
I do remember it. I remember the first moment when they gave us like our outfits like this that we were gonna wear. It's literally like this white, like we call it a leotard. It's like you know what a leotard is?
Yeah,
like,
of course. Yeah.
So you put that shit on, and it's like it's pretty tight and stuff. And then they gave us these like black like boxer shorts kind of thing. Yeah. Not loose, they're tight too.
Right.
They gave us ballet slippers, but we were like, they gave us all those outfits, and all the boys, the 3rd grade boys, were just in one locker room. Like we were like, we had like, it wasn't like we didn't know where we were. It was just like, this is kind of crazy. Like if thinking back to it in perspective, I was like, that's wild. Like we were just all in there, like never taken dance before. Yeah. And like we're doing it.
So, and where'd you go to elementary school?
The Beethoven. West Roxbury.
Yeah. School. Yeah.
But and then anyway, like I went into the school, and then from there, like I really decided that I was like committed to it, and I wanted to go professional when I was 12.
Yeah.
That was like
what
the moment.
You just were like, that's right when you started going to BLA.
Yeah, exactly. So like right before 60 years, like that summer, I had been a part of this like summer intensive.
Got you. And
my teacher was just like really, I think he brought out a different perspective in ballet for me. So it was like it was more like I had been used to being integrated with the girls. So I was like around a lot of girls with some guys, but this time it was like very focused on the boys and boys technique and everything. So that kind of gave me a different perspective. It kind of made me understand like a boy's place in ballet, like a male dancer.
Got you.
And I don't know, I just like it really connected. I connected with it, and it just like it was like, I don't know, I decided at the end of that program, I really decided, like I was like, yeah, I'm going for this. And so
no, that's cool. That's like around the time where people, like kids start like knowing what they like really want to do when they like
I was happy that I kind of felt that way going into BLA and stuff, because I felt like I carried that with me a little bit. Like I wasn't afraid to like, you know, wear that and like tell people like what I like to do and what I did after school and stuff. Because
for those who don't know, we started school, like high school, in the seventh grade,
right?
And then you left junior year to pursue.
I did. So like junior year was like I was actually gonna do junior year.
Yeah, because I remember I saw you like the first day.
Yeah, I was gonna do junior year and actually probably have like kind of like a adjusted schedule, which would have been kind of weird, because I felt like I would have been in like different. I might have had like some like chemistry. I think I would have been the same like class as some people, but I would have had a very different schedule than other people, because I would have had to go to ballet after like at right out like at 2 or something. It was kind of crazy. But basically I got offered by Boston Ballet School to be a part of the trainee program, and that was like a starting in the morning type of thing, 10 a.m. and going through till like 4 p.m. I don't know how, but it was an all day thing. So, and it was just like kind of like, if I really want to do this, it's either now or never, like go for it, and I did. But yeah, I've talked to you about it, like how I wish I could have gotten my diploma from BLA. But you know, you gotta make some sacrifices, I guess. Oh shit! I just noticed this Eternal Take sticker. I like.
We got the laptop stickers, but I should change them because I haven't changed them since like 2020. But
that's dope. So I like the Joker one too. So
I have a Joker one. Oh yeah,
it's like a Joker, right? Wait, it looks like a Joker.
Do I?
Sorry, a little side.
This
track.
one.
Damn, these are cool.
Wait, this is
Is that not a Joker?
That's Yurik Brown from Why the Last Man, which they just took off Hulu, which sucks because
fuck that shit.
I didn't see it, but it's a book, but they made a show into it, and they apparently just took it off Hulu, which sucks because I want to see it. I was going to see it eventually. I knew it wasn't good, so I wasn't like ready for it. But
got you.
That's not. Yeah, I was about to say. I was like, I don't think I have a Joker one.
It just looks like it. Like he's got a little. It looks like he has a hat on.
Yeah. Weird, but yeah. So you were in the Boston Ballet Troupe, like.
Yeah, the trainee. So the trainee program is like a professional training program, like, and it's not professional yet, but it was like kind of like that bridge, you know, connecting like school to professional company.
Gotcha.
And that was 2 years of that. So I did junior year and senior year in that time. I did online school for junior year, which I think I've told you before, like was terrible. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like it was terrible in different ways. It was like it was kind of ridiculously easy sometimes, and you felt like so like intellectually unstimulated. Yeah. And I mean, high school is like, I feel like everybody was really focused on like college applications and stuff at that time.
I mean,
so
like, especially where we went to high school, especially in junior senior year. It's like it's super like the curriculum's super like rigorous and like tricky. But
yeah, exactly. So I feel like I mean, it's whatever. Like I was focused on ballet and like my next steps, and I feel like I did take like big strides in my ability and like everything that I learned during that time for ballet, so it was worth it. But anyway, I did junior year online, but then I finished off my high school. I graduated from like this small little high school, like very tiny little specific high school in like Rosendale, but through Bunker Hill. Like I finished off like some courses at Bunker Hill, and yeah, that was it.
Yeah, but you showed up to a graduation and prom.
I did.
Right? Yeah.
I did, and senior prom.
Yeah.
yeah, with Melissa, which if she ever hears this, I wanna I wanna apologize for not showing up to her house like early enough. I was like running late and shit, and that was one of those things where I was like, damn, I like didn't realize.
It's mad funny because when I was at the prom, I told like mad people like, oh, I'm gonna be on the radio low key, and then people were like, oh, word, and then like, now I do the prom.
Nah, you do this shit, bro. You've been manifesting something, bro.
Sure. Yeah, no, we manifested over here.
Easy he's got a mind. That's all I know.
Yeah, nah, for real.
Yeah.
For real. I was talking to someone, they were like, yo, you make moves like more than anyone, but like silently.
But silent,
that's exactly
This is a silent night. No, exactly, bro. I've noticed that about you, and like, I really like. I feel like in high school, like, I didn't like get to know you so closely, but I like, you know, we shared like Arabic class, and we were like, you know, I knew who you were, and like, but I feel like you've been able to like come into like what you want to do, and like, I see what you're doing. And
high school, BLA was interesting because it was like very much like forming like my identity and stuff.
And I feel that too. Because like BLA was just like, for the time that I was there, like I felt like my beginning years, like 7th and 8th grade, were like a lot of fun, and like then like, and 9th grade was fun too. I felt like then 10th grade, it was like I didn't spend as much time like after school, like at BLA. I was kind of split between like ballet and school.
And that's the year you went to Qatar.
Yeah. So it was like, that was like a weird year for me because I didn't feel fit into like anything really. Not even like at ballet, like a little bit, but not even. Like I felt like I was so solo like that year, and that was, it's cool. Like I feel like it was part of like what I need to go through. Yeah. But yeah, we all have that kind of experience, right? Yeah.
Nah. So then, after the training pro, you're in the ballet troupe, the Boston one. So how long were you in?
Okay, so no, after the trainee program, I got my first like offer to like in a what they call like a second company, which is like, it's not like trainee, but it's like, it's part of the professional. It's just like a little side division, like a little side troupe that does like performances. So I got this in Philadelphia. So this was my first. Okay, so this was at the time it was called Pennsylvania Ballet. Now it's called Philadelphia Ballet. But it's this like little side troupe that works like part time. I don't want to say part time. They work like when needed in the main company, and then on the side they do like little performances around the city for like high schools. Do little outreach programs and stuff like that, and it's kind of like an experience builder, and just like it's part of the process. Like there's a lot of kind of growing in that time, a lot of coaching and stuff like that.
Got you.
So then and then I actually got, after 2 years of that, I got hired in the main company
of Philly. Got you. So you were in Philly like all 4 years? 3 years. Got you. And was that like a big deal for you? Like,
I would say, I mean, it was a big deal because, I mean, it was my first like professional experience in the dance world in ballet. Yeah. So it definitely formed me and like affected me in positive ways, and like just growing in general. So that was my first taste of it. I learned a lot of things about like how to carry myself and how to kind of maximize my potential. You know, I made mistakes along the way that like you realize like later on that you know you've actually outgrown that, and you've been able to, you know, become better at what you do, your craft.
And so then you're in Philly for 3 years, then you go back home for the pandemic, right?
Right.
Yeah, and how did that affect? Were you like nervous when the pandemic hit? Like, is this like, did I choose the wrong profession?
I mean,
yeah, for sure.
I never had a doubt that like I was gonna just like I never had a doubt that I would continue. Like I knew that I was like, I mean, I've chosen this. I've done this my whole life. I'm not done with it yet. So, but yeah, it really affected like the arts world, and especially live theater and live productions, like incredibly. So I had to really like take a step back. I still worked at home on like I did like my own like ballet bars at home. Try to like keep the body in shape at least somewhat. But it definitely like it was a crazy time because and I'm sure everybody felt this to a certain degree. Just, like I felt so out of like my norm.
True. Yeah.
But I was also with family.
Yeah.
Yeah, that time was crazy. You were in Boston too?
Yeah, I was in Boston. I've told this many times on the podcast that time had me freaking out because we had like because that's like right when I was with like Adamir and Devin in the Hip Hop Society and all that shit. So we were like, that was like right like 2020. We like had like a whole like vision board and that was like we were gonna like execute like all right like album release party like May 13th like opening up for like this great like I shouldn't say the rapper. I've said it before, but I shouldn't say. But open up for like this dude like March 30th, and then like we had a Boston Hip Hop Festival like April 14th or something. So we had like shit lined up, ready to go, albums like rollouts, like everything, and then
so like a lot of planning during that.
Yeah, a lot. We were planning like a lot like through like 2020.
Alfonso entered the chat.
Yeah, the cat's here now. But yeah, we had like a lot planned out, and then like we just like the pandemic just shut down all that shit. So I was definitely freaking out from my end, just being like,
oh my bad. I thought you meant like during the pandemic you were like planning.
No. This was like November, because I started the podcast in like September 2019, and then like it kind of formed into like a rap thing like through the stuff I was doing at Emerson, and then like March 2020 I was like, or like February, like January, February I like dropped all, because I was doing like I still do like film stuff, but like at that point I was like, all right, like I have all this stuff in music, like so that like I made the decision to like drop a lot of the film stuff in like January, February 2020, and then March 2020 like shit happened, and I was like, but like I've like put a lot into like the music stuff like right before the pandemic, like so I felt kind of crazy for a long time, but now we both here, so
we're back, and it feels good, like for sure.
So you moved to LA the same time I moved to LA. Went like, so you got the offer to do the Los Angeles.
So basically I got the offer after I joined the company in Philadelphia for 1 year.
But you went back to Philly.
No. Oh. Sorry. So backtrack to right before COVID hit.
Yeah.
So that was I was in my first year at the main company, but they told me they weren't gonna hire me again for the next year. So I was like, damn, all right, I'm looking for work. I'm looking for another job at another company. So right before COVID hit, I spoke to a woman, the former director of Los Angeles Ballet. She was at Philadelphia Ballet putting a production together. So I spoke to her. Like a lot of this stuff is like in this world, it's like any world is networking and stuff, but you kind of have to take advantage of those. So I was like, like let me talk to her real quick. Let me say, hey, I don't have a job, but I'd be really interested to be part of your company and this and that. And it worked out. It like, we kept in touch, and they offered me a contract. So I was supposed to come here September like 2020. Matter of fact, October 2020.
Got you.
But the season got canceled because of COVID still, and so I just stayed in Boston. Yeah,
it was similar for me. I was supposed to come to LA January 2021. And then I didn't end up going to LA until September 2021.
Yeah, actually, I had something similar too, because it was like they kept pushing it back. It was like first it was like October 2020, then they were like, no, like we'll probably start like sometime early 2021, and then they're like, what, it's next year.
Not for real,
So but LA.
So you had LA on your radar.
I had it for a while. Like I knew that I was gonna be heading out here eventually.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Just because you said you never planned on or when you were younger, you never planned on moving out to LA, but then.
No. I never thought about LA as like as an option. What was your idea of LA before you came out here?
My idea.
Have you been out here before?
I went out here when I was like a little kid, but like I was like 7 or 8. So I was just like, oh, the time is different, and there's like a beach here, like cool, like you know, like I never really, but just growing up, like especially high school, I was just like looking at like, cause I was into like film and I was into music, especially at the like high school, I was really into film, so I was just looking at like artists, like film company, YouTubers, like looking at like where they were based, and I was like, oh, they're all in LA, so I should like move to LA.
Yeah.
And then, all right. So as I was saying, I knew that LA was like the spot like for artistically, like that I wanted to move here, and also like I was just into like the music out here, the music scene at the time, like you know, especially in like 2015, 2016, like Kendrick Lamar, Dr. Dre, that kind of thing. So I was just like interested, and then Fitchburg, I like knew I wanted to kind of like pursue like film and the arts more like professionally, and then I chose Emerson because they had a like Los Angeles program. So yeah. So that's where I met Mary. That's kind of, I knew I wanted to pursue that. Like I knew that was like the end game for like why I chose Emerson. So yeah, that's kind of why I moved out here.
Yeah. Yeah, because I had asked you like what you thought of LA before. Like I remember seeing like YouTubers out here for sure. I always like, I didn't know what my opinion about it was though. It was just kind of like, I knew LA existed. Like I knew it was a big hub for like the arts, film industry, and all that. But then once it became like real that I was gonna go out there, I was like, oh shit, okay, like, well, this would be cool, like, cause I mean, LA is, it's like no other really. It's pretty cool out here. Yeah, it's pretty cool. But what do you think, like, compared to like your hometown? Like,
compared to it's super different, which I needed.
It's way too different, yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about this before. It's super different, which I needed. I like. There's places in the world I like better. There's places in the world like I could definitely see myself living out here for a long time though, especially now. What would you?
I definitely could see myself staying out here for a while. I'm not sure, like, given like my profession, like we move around a lot. But you know, I wouldn't mind staying out here a little longer. Like I like it for sure. I think I was a little bit like hesitant to like really like it at first because it just felt so different. As soon as I got off the plane, like I remember just feeling the people like a little bit different. Like the vibe was like a little slower. I don't even want to say, like, I feel like there are stereotypes about LA, like it's like, oh, the people are like way more laid back, which is kind of true. Funny story though, was like my first Uber driver who took me from the airport, he like was talking so slow that like I was like, is it really true? Like, is it really true? Is this like how they are? Like, but yeah, I don't know. I grew to like, at the same time, like I noticed there's a lot of people from anywhere here, and so like, you know, you don't really like notice that. It's like I feel like, oh, like I feel like I met people like this in Boston, like you know,
Nah, it's like super diverse, like cultures out here too.
Exactly.
And you're in one of the biggest ballet like companies, right?
I would like to say that. I mean, I would say that like Los Angeles Ballet is you know, it's not a big company. It's smaller as like a group. We're only like 30 dancers. But we had like, after COVID, like in my generation of like people that came in, we had a lot of new people coming in. So I think that was cool to like kind of integrate ourselves into that company that had a lot of people from past generations. And just kind of like create a new environment, a new vibe. I think a lot of people in my group, like my roommates and like my girlfriend and stuff, the people that like came in, like they bring in like a good new energy. It's like younger and like a little bit more like hungry. But yeah, no, bro, it's a good. I'm at a good place. I feel happy where I am at the moment.
Yeah, and if you ever get the chance to see Santi perform, when I first saw you, because I first saw you in the Nutcracker. And I thought you were gonna be like one of the dancers.
Yeah,
like,
no, bro.
You know, but that like you're like one of the main dude. Like you got solos. Like,
dude, I did the like the Nutcracker.
Mm-hmm.
I was glad that you got to see that, bro, because that was like, honestly, that was my first time ever doing like that high level of a role.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a crazy experience. Like, I ended up doing like 7 shows of that.
Yeah.
And very demanding, just I think energy wise, and also just like kind of like getting accustomed to just like getting out on stage and like carrying that part was like, it was a challenge in itself, because it's like, it felt like the more and more I did it, the more I had experience with it, and I felt more comfortable, but the more like by the end, the more pressure I felt on myself to like keep that high level. And you never know, like, because it's all on you when you go out there, where you're like, okay, I could mess up today.
True.
And like feel kind of shitty about it, but you know, I had to like it's a psychological thing too.
In LA, like ballet is like a big part of the culture, and there's like a lot of like, you know, fancy people out here. Was there any time where like someone told you like, oh, like the Kardashians are in the audience, oh, like this person, like this
Jennifer Lopez came
J-Lo?
J-Lo came to a show with Ben Affleck.
Yeah. Did you see him like in the crowd?
Yeah. Oh, no, not even in the crowd. I saw J-Lo walk by me backstage, bro.
Oh, they went backstage? Why they go?
Well, the thing is, honestly, it kind of sucked, because they watched the first act, and then they like, I think it was like they were getting a lot of attention in the audience and stuff, because they were with the family.
Yeah.
And they came backstage and they left. But that was crazy. I was just like, I opened my dressing room door, and then I see this tall ass dude, dark hair. I was like, shit, that's Ben Affleck. And then J-Lo comes out of nowhere, and she just kind of casually says hi. Yeah. She's like, oh, hey, hi. And she's like walking by like in these like this big ass like dress or something. That was crazy.
Oh, they like dressed up to go to the...
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Was this when you were doing it at UCLA or like in the Dolby?
That was at the Dolby Theater.
Got you guys. So yeah, I saw you at UCLA, but you also did it at the Dolby, which is where they do like the Oscars, where they do America's Got Talent. Like, was that trippy, like just being in there? It was kind of trippy.
Yeah. I remember one of the stagehands was like, that's where Will Smith slapped the shit out of Chris Rock. I was like, yo, you're right.
Yeah. No, anytime I like take someone like new to LA, I always take them to Hollywood Boulevard, and then we go to Dolby, and I'm like, that's where it happened. That's where it happened. That's where they slapped him. Yeah.
And it's crazy being backstage there, because you see like certain there's like pictures and stuff of like past Oscars.
You get to go in like the green room where they have like the little like
the green room. I mean, the thing is like, this like the stage looks really different when we do it. Like,
got you. But like backstage, you get to go where everyone's like chilling. Like,
literally like because we have to use like the dressing rooms there. Yeah. So it is kind of cool to think about like who's been here and everything.
Did you see the? Cause I'm a film there. Did you see like the control room where like they like where they do like camera 3, camera 2, like that area?
No, I can't. Nah. I didn't like go in there.
Got you. Yeah.
That would have been really cool. Yeah. That's why you got to tell me these things so I can like know about that world and then like go investigate. Yeah.
No, because I used to work in like the studio TV world. So like I've been in the room where it's like you got cut to camera 3, cut to camera 2.
That's so cool.
But so but that's the only time you've seen like Ben Affleck and J-Lo.
Okay, let me try. I'm trying to think if there was anything. I don't think we had any other like.
I think when I was there, I think I recognized Bobby Flay, like the chef.
The chef?
Yeah, he's like a famous like celebrity chef.
Oh, that's cool.
I think I saw him in the audience.
That's cool. Yeah, I honestly during that time when wait, you're talking about UCLA?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, when I saw it.
I think. Yeah, like, I mean, more the Dolby. The Dolby is more like, oh, there are like more people, like kind of high profile people coming. Yeah. So, and I think they like to go see the Nutcracker. It's like kind of. I noticed with some of these like influencer people, it's kind of like aesthetic to go to the ballet.
Yeah, so, no, for real, yeah. Like even like Devin's dad or stepdad was like the day after I saw it, I met Devin's stepdad and he was like, I gotta see the Nutcracker. I've been trying to see the Nutcracker.
I would I feel like I've told you this. I mean, the Nutcracker, we do it every year, so it's like that's a normal, like a very common ballet. I feel like it's the most common ballet that people know. Yeah. But I like a lot of the other stuff that we do too, and that's more what I look forward to.
And you work with like the choreographers.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
That's a crazy experience. One thing I'll say about this world is that one of the biggest parts about it, and it's the part that people don't see as much, is like the whole process. It's so interactive and like active. Like you're in the studio, like preparing this for like maybe a couple months or like maybe a month and a half, and it's like you start from just the basic learning choreography. Yeah. And that in itself is like you just kind of picking up choreography quickly, internalizing it in your body. It's a very like, that part is probably the most like difficult part of the process, because it's so like you have to be so patient with like, you know, learning new things, and just like it's slow, this and that. Yeah. And you're also just working with your body the whole time. But then once you kind of pass that phase, it's like, all right, now we know it. But we're like running it more and more, so you're just gotcha. And the choreographer is starting to like pick at what you do exactly and how you do it. And so it's like, no, it's not like this, it's like this, or it's not on this count, it's on this count. Yeah. The rhythm, you know, stuff like that, and it's like more refining. But that's like an every day until we finally make it to the shows, and then it's on stage, and that's what people see, and I think like that whole process is. It's very rewarding, honestly. And I think that's what makes like the job, like for me, enjoyable at the end of the day, and the reason for why I do it. It's very rewarding, and to feel that I've gotten like, because that's where the work really lies, and that's where like a director will like you because they like working with you, and it's like you can have all the potential in the world, but if they don't like working with you and you don't bring like a good energy to the environment, to the room, when you're to the studio, then it's tough, and a lot of people don't it doesn't work out because of those things.
True. Yeah. And you've got along with most of the directors, or are some of them like crazy? Like,
bro, I mean, there are some crazy directors for sure. I've definitely met some personalities in like in this world that I've kind of not resonated with. I think it's a lot like some people. I was actually talking to my work manager at B Suite about this, and like how like there are some people who for example, let's say like a ballet director who had a really big career, but they have like a very strong ego, like a big ego. They were a big star, like, and they're like kind of just like an asshole, like if they don't like, and sometimes they might expect something from you and not have any patience with you, or not have like any sort of like, you know, my manager, he made a good point, like they don't come at you from the perspective of like, oh, I was once where you were, I was once like a beginner, I was once learning how to do this shit and learning how to be a professional. If they don't come at you with that and they just have this expectation, it's like, for me, that's like all right, like I'd rather not work with you, to be honest. You know, like if you're gonna treat me like that, you know.
No, I guess you.
But so I have come across some personalities like that in this world, but and overall, like it's been all right. And I think my last company in Philly, my director, like I think I learned some things about how to like carry myself better, but it didn't totally work out in the end there, because I think like I think he didn't trust me fully.
Gotcha.
And I think I never like, I don't know exactly like, anyway, it doesn't matter, it's in the past, but I feel like now I've like taken something from that and like realized how I can like.
Gotcha. That's cool. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And what would you say is like the most stressed you've ever been like before a show?
The most stressed I've ever been? I'm trying to think right now. Honestly, before the Nutcracker opening night, bro. Yeah. That, like, I was just like, the whole day I woke up, I was like, even from the night before. The night before, I was already thinking about it. I was
when they tell you, like, that you were gonna do, like, the main
so, like, the opening night was, like, in December, like, early December, like, December 4th, let's say. And I think they told me, like, October. So I had time to obviously rehearse.
You gotta rehearse,
So like October, I think. But yeah, that night before, like in the whole process, I'm fine. Like, you know, I'm working on it. But then the night before, I'm like, oh shit, this is real. Like I'm about to get on stage and do this. Like
in
the
like
principal
a whole costume too.
a whole costume.
Yeah.
And it's opening night too, you know. You want to give a good show. So and I hadn't done something like that yet. So I just had to really like calm my nerves a little bit. I went to bed, and the whole day I was like keeping a positive attitude. But it's not until that my little bit wasn't until the second act. So that whole time before, it's just like I felt like I was pacing a little bit. I was like I didn't know what to do with myself. I was like I just want to get out there. Bro, it was
it's
like...
It's good though because your roommates were like there with you.
Yeah, no, like I had a lot of support for sure and stuff, but yeah, the anticipation I think was... it was eating at me for sure.
And what was the most fun show you ever done?
Honestly, the one that you last saw.
Yeah.
That show...
That one was cool.
That one was cool, right? Yeah, I had so much fun doing that show. It felt very freeing. Mm-hmm. The movement was like contemporary. It was more like contemporary ballet. It was like it wasn't full contemporary, but just more like physical. Like I enjoyed being out there, and yeah, it was just like that was like some of the most fun I've had.
Got you. And what's the hardest move you ever had to master like that? You were like
hardest move. Let me. I can probably tell you. Honestly, so I actually used to. This is funny because in 60 year and stuff, like in theater, I remember I used to do this shit on the stage a lot. Like, like I would like do my little turns. I would like, they're called Alicicon turns in ballet. Yeah. This is when you basically have your leg out to the side and you're doing like turn, like you're pumping the turn. But that shit was like, so at the end of that, you have to like pull in your body, like pull in your leg to like it's called a passe position.
Got you.
And ideally, you want to be on your leg, like, and keep turning and like finish strong. Yeah. But honestly, that coordination of like finding the right spot where you're on your leg and like staying on balance is one of the hardest things. I still struggle with it. Like I have to like work on it every day. It's like a feeling you need to get. Like it's. Got you.
And like, do you feel like as your identity as a ballet dancer, do you have like certain moves and like certain like dance style that like is like a brand to you specifically?
I would say like I think everybody has like somewhere that they lean, like just based on like the way that they move. Like some people like move a little slower, and like some people are a little bit more like quick and fast, like the way that they move. But I would say I am more on like a little bit of the slower end. So I think like more like legato kind of movement, like long and like and stuff, and like slower, like a little bit slower. I do like moving fast, but I think like that kind of stuff.
I've noticed that in your
stuff.
Do you have like a favorite ballet dancer, like someone who you looked up to, someone?
Yeah, I mean, in Boston Ballet growing up, there's this guy named Jeffrey Serio.
Gotcha.
This guy, he got promoted like to principal dancer when he was like 20, and I was on stage like doing a little part in Don Quixote, and I always looked up to him. I think a lot of people can agree with me on that one, and then some people like overseas, like that I would watch. There's just some there's this guy named Daniil Simkin. I think he's Russian. I believe he's Russian. Russian dancer. That dude would just do some incredible things out there. Like just the dynamics that he had were insane.
And you mentioned you were in the Nutcracker. Were you in the Urban Nutcracker, like in Boston?
Oh my God, the Urban Nutcracker. I was never in that.
You were never in that? Okay.
But that was a Tony Williams production. That was like a place in JP.
I went there a few times.
You did, yeah. To the Urban Nutcracker?
Yeah, to the Urban Nutcracker.
I've been to the studio before. And I remember taking like a hip hop class when I was younger. But I actually know a girl who was in that Nutcracker a lot. Do you know who Katie Drayson is?
I've heard the name.
She went to BLS though. So.
Got you.
But yeah, I was always knowing about it. I just I never was a part of that one. And did you do ballet dancing like in theater, like in 7th grade, like? No, I don't think I ever did. No, I didn't do that.
But got you. Shout out Miss Baronato.
Shout out Miss Baronato. I still think about her.
Cause I was like, me and Clark were like in the theater
Yeah.
situation in like senior year. So
Yeah. They like brought it. They kind of like. I remember a lot of people like joined it back.
We joined it back. Like yeah, because that's how it worked. Like, I was originally gonna do creative writing, but then that program got canceled, so I did theater with like, the homies. Yeah, it was cool for sure. Yeah. Shout out all that crew.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on.
Yeah,
bro. Thank you for listening. I'm always happy to get like a fan of the show.
Yeah, exactly, bro. I really like what you're doing. Like it's, and I feel like I noticed like a change from the beginning too. Like it's improved too. Like I feel.
For real, yeah.
So
we really goated out here.
Yeah,
for sure.
For sure. Thank you for finally having me on.
Absolutely. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
But it's all. I always know it's gonna like go crazy when a BLA kid comes on. The show, so I always gotta like, piece it out.
Conversation is got traction.
Yeah. For real. Yeah. Anytime I get a BLA, like my listening thing. Like,
it actually goes up because because it makes sense. Like everybody who knows you is like,
and like everyone from high school like. They're always like the first to congratulate, always the first to comment. Shout out to BLA, that's the real ones out there. For
exactly. Sure. And I also wanted to say shout out Lottie because I was listening to the podcast last time and I had told Easy this, but like I felt like I got to catch up with Lottie like just by listening to him talk and true. Hear what and the same with anybody else on there that you've had from BLA. Like it's dope.
Nah, it's cool.
So like I think we all appreciate that you're doing this.
Nah, absolutely. All right, well,
Word.
Easy, Santi, shout out Jimmy K-Feds and the Squeak Squad, and we out. Thank you for listening.